Hi everybody, welcome to ReelRebel. Today I'm going to talk about my movie collection. Now, I love movies. I've been watching movies since I was a little kid. In fact, the first movie I ever taped, was Mannequin, which came out in 1987. And I believe my older sister and my babysitter watched this movie, and so I just kind of followed suit, and I loved it. And I eventually upgraded to the DVD from my VHS tape, which this isn't the most exciting DVD. It's just silver with the widescreen on the front and the full screen on the back. But yeah, so I taped the movie. So we had a silver Panasonic VCR, and it had all the little buttons on there, the play and the record and the fast forward. And my dad was absolutely loyal to the Panasonic brand, so that's what we had. And back in the 80s and 90s and before all the streaming services, you had to plan to watch your movie. And one of the tools that you could use was the TV guide. I bought this off of eBay, and it has, that is Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor in the prequel Star Wars. This was to promote it. This came out in May of 1999. But what you would do is you would go and you would look up your movie, and you would find out what time it was going to play, and then you would program it on the VCR to start recording, or you could just wait for the movie to start and hit record when it would start. But yeah, this is pretty funny going through this. It's pretty nostalgic. So like, okay, I really want to watch, I don't know if you can see this, Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach, which is, I actually really like that movie. So you would look it up, and it would say that it was going to play on HBO on Sunday night at 10 o'clock, and so you'd program that into your VCR. But so yeah, so you had to rely on this. You couldn't just look it up. I think maybe in the late 90s you could start to look things up. They might have had some websites that were dedicated to that, but for the most part I think people were still using the TV guide. So you would just, you'd say, oh, what's on TV tonight? And you just go and like, okay, at 4:30 Family Matters. It's a rerun of everybody's favorite sitcom, Family Matters, and followed by Boy Meets World. So that was how you look things up, and of course there's the cigarette ad on the back, of course. But this was before cigarette ads were really kind of tossed out. So don't smoke. I've told you that before. Don't do that. So you could watch movies that way, or in my hometown we had a number of video rental stores. So you would go in, and I think one of my favorite ones was a classmate of mine. Her mom ran one, and you'd go in there. I mean, the place was enormous, right? You go in, and I can still remember the smell of those video stores. Just all these VHS tapes everywhere. It was wonderful. And a lot of the tapes would come in cases like this, where like the title is hand typed on it, and this is actually my husband's football highlights from 1989. And you'd get out your VHS tape, and they looked like, they looked like it just got like a huge whiff of like old plastic and tape. They would come in these these gigantic VHS tapes. It took up so much room, but it was much more economical to rent a video than to buy it, because in the 80s, I remember they would, at the video stores, you could look at these catalogs of what was coming out in the following month. And, some of the movies, if you wanted to own them, would cost like $100. And that was pretty much the norm back then. So nobody ever bought movies, everybody rented them. So movie prices have come down a lot since then, so that's good. Videotapes, they're huge, right? They took up tons of room, and I had a lot of VHS tapes. I had to go through a minimalist project in order to cut all these down. So I'm actually going to show you what I've got, because I do have a lot of physical media. I just like that freedom of, if I want to watch Commando, Or if I want to watch Transylvania Twist, I've got it. I own it. And I can just put it in. I know I could buy it on streaming. You know, it's probably available on Amazon for me to buy it. It's just, if I did that with all my movies, I would be out a lot of money. So that's a big reason why I don't. So I've got Movie Box 1, which that contains all of my Christmas, comedy, drama, and action movies. I've got them all divided into these little categories. So so let's see, let's just pull out a random one here. Oh, we've got National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation here in the Christmas section. I do have oddly enough, I have a section completely devoted to Steve Buscemi. So, yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Oh, and I've got a music section as well. Let's see what we've got in the music. We've got some ABBA. I know I have tons of The Clash, but that's all out by my DVD player because I'm watching it right now. I got Bowie. This is actually, I think this is pretty rare. This is Bowie, the Serious Moonlight Tour. I'm going to look that up and see how much that costs because it's probably really expensive. Let's see. So in this box, this is where the action continues here. And then, ooh, Freeway. Yeah, that is a crazy movie. That's got Reese Witherspoon and Kiefer Sutherland in it. I have got to do a video on that one. But then I've got my horror section, which you can tell, all of these envelopes are individual movies. You can translate this in your mind to, each one of these into one of these. That's a lot of tapes. That's a big amount of space. So we've got our horror movies here. Let's see. His name was Jason. That was a little video about the Friday the 13th movies. We've got Saw. And then we have some television. So I've got Absolutely Fabulous. I've got Mystery Science Theater 3000. I've got The Odd Couple, Quantum Leap. Oh, yeah. And yeah, just some other just good stuff. I think Kids in the Hall is in there. And yeah. You know, I realize a lot of people don't have DVDs and Blu-ray players anymore. Physical media is definitely becoming more and more obsolete as people switch over to streaming. I still have all this because it would cost a fortune to convert it all over to digital media. And, you know, maybe that's another video, my ode to physical media. Because there are a lot of movies that I really do enjoy that are not available on streaming, even to purchase. I mean, I'm not just talking about them being free on Amazon Prime or on Netflix or to rent. I'm talking about that they are just not available at all. Transylvania Twist, which I'm definitely going to do a video on Transylvania Twist someday, or Red Rock West with Nicolas Cage. I'm pretty sure those movies are unavailable. Sometimes they pop up, but you know, a lot of times you go in and it says movie is unavailable, and so I've got it here, so I don't need to worry about that. I guess I'm going to do a little ode to physical media right now, but another reason that I do like it is that there's special features. You know, you get the commentary and all that. So here's one of my favorite movies. You'll definitely see a review of this on my channel, but this is Army of Darkness. Now, I paid a little bit extra for this. This is special. This has got, it has the theatrical version, which I know I'm a nerd, I'm supposed to not like it, but I like the theatrical version the best. It's got the director's cut, which has more of a bummer ending, and the international cut. And it's got commentaries, it's got special features that you don't get these on if you just used the streaming services. You get a lot more. And, yeah. Oh, I do actually still have some of the cases. You see that I've switched over to the envelopes, but I do still have some of the cases. Here is The Future is Unwritten. It's a wonderful documentary about Joe Strummer, the lead singer of The Clash. I've got Vincent Price collection. My husband got this for me. I love Vincent Price. You'll definitely see some reviews of his movies. Labyrinth, hello, oh my gosh, there's commentary on here, there's making of documentaries, there's all this footage of David Bowie, there's a tribute from Jennifer Connelly about David Bowie in there, and that's just great. That's great stuff. You know, you gotta have your Star Wars, you gotta have my husband has to have this. This is the Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. It's got all of the extended cuts on here. Let's see, what else have we got? Briscoe County Jr. This is Bruce Campbell. He will be in a lot of my videos. I'm warning you, because he's amazing. And he was in all the Evil Dead movies, but he also did this wonderful show called The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. And I already named our cat Ash, who's sleeping over in the window right now, so he won't be in this video. But I named Ash after Ashley J. Williams in in the Evil Dead movies. And someday when I have another kitty cat, he's gonna be named Briscoe. Whether he's a female or a male cat, the name's gonna be Briscoe. I'm just saying. And then another movie I pulled out, this is also my husband's, the Cubs. The Cubs winning the World Series. I mean, you gotta have this stuff. So, anyway, I give my DVD collection, my Blu-ray collection, my streaming collection, I give it 4 cat paws. Because it's great.